thank you guys so much again for doing this. For
Dude, no, thank you.
So yeah, rad. So our podcast is all about your guys' journey in music, really, and how you got to where you are now. I did see a cool picture on your Instagram that I want to talk to you about too, where it was like 4 years ago, and you guys are sitting at like a table, and you have your laptop, and then there's
we can get to that.
Yeah, and it's a crowd of people. So I think that's cool. So yeah, if that works for you, that's kind of
man.
We'll do it. Right.
I'm Nick. It's my voice for people that are just listening via audio. I'm SWAE. It's Mark. So if you hear me refer to Mark as Mark is SWAE.
Mark is SWAE.
Niiko. And our project is Niiko and SWAE.
Yes, sir.
And so yeah, the picture you're talking about, that's honestly kind of where our journey as DJs began. But to preface it, Mark and I have actually been friends we were trying to do the math the other day, but I want to say like 18 to 20 years, somewhere in that range.
Oh my, okay.
So,
cool. So you grew up together, obviously.
Yeah, we usually round up. We like to say 20.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm not being rude. I'm about to post an Instagram, so
Oh yeah, no worries, man.
I got you.
Take your time. I'm just hanging out. I was gonna say, so if you grew up together, tell me about where I did read you guys from what, Newport area?
Yeah, we're from Newport Beach. We both actually are born and raised here.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, I went to Corona Del Mar High School. He went to Mater Dei High School for the local legends who are around here and are listening.
That's cool.
No, we're not rivals though.
Not rivals.
Well, I was gonna say that, well, if you've known each other for that long, you didn't go to the same high school though.
No, but we grew up together. Niiko might have said we played on like the same sports teams, and like we actually went to the same preschool. So that's why like when we say 20 years, like it's actually legit. Like from when we were 4, like there's photos of us in like the preschool yearbook, right?
Yeah, we went to preschool together. So.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, we actually go way back.
Okay, so preschool, and then were you still kind of friends through preschool, or did you kind of like lose touch and then kind of reconvene later?
Well, so to be honest with you, I wasn't that conscious when I was in preschool.
Yeah, dude, I don't
well, sure.
The only thing I remember from preschool is pulling the fire alarm. And real quick, it's kind of a funny story. It's just
I want to hear this. You pulled the fire alarm in preschool?
It's not the dumbest thing ever. Yeah, because they literally put the fucking fire alarm. Excuse me, I don't know if
you can swear, dude. I'm laying in a hospital bed. We're all good.
So they literally had the fire alarm like 2.5. I don't know if you remember this, like 2.5 feet off the ground. So it was like little kid height, which is like not like.
Right.
That is to me, I don't know. And
not very smart.
So my twin brother and I, we thought, let's push this button or pull this alarm, and we did it, and we got in a lot of trouble. But that was my only memory from preschool.
That's hilarious. Well, you said you guys don't have memories aside from pulling the fire alarm, but I was wondering, like, maybe like were your parents friends, and then you did like play dates up through like elementary school? Like, were you still connected with each other and knew
like we always
others all the way through high school, and obviously to today? Or was that kind of, oh yeah, I remember you, like when you met up like 10 years later or something?
I mean,
maybe like I'd probably say like 75% of still like being friends, and then a little bit of like the oh shit, like remember blah 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 and shit, because like we went to different high schools, and so it was like we always had like the same group of friends, but like maybe not like immediate group right necessarily, but like we still saw each other all the time. It's just
okay, yeah, so you guys were hanging out and everything.
Not like a ton, not as much as we were after we got to college, but like we still saw, like we weren't like unfamiliar faces by any means. Like we were still friends.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Niiko, how'd you get into music?
So I grew up playing guitar.
Okay.
That's where kind of my influence comes from. I started I used to play drums. I went to like 3. I guess I don't know if I could say I played or not. I went to like 3 lessons, and that kind of fell through. And then I remember vividly one day just going into my parents' room. They're like watching a movie or something. I'm just like, hey, would you like be down if I tried guitar lessons? And I'm super fortunate because they're really reluctant to let me follow any sort of passion I wanted. So I started playing guitar.
Cool. Very supportive of
and
everything.
I know around that time Mark we were doing piano lessons.
Yeah, wait, you keep going.
Okay. I'll say my side. So yeah, I played guitar. It was mostly just like learning different songs. I had a really cool teacher, doing covers, whatnot. And then when I got to high school, you know, you start to develop your own individual taste in music. You know, you kind of grow up listening to what your parents like, and then you learn a little bit more about yourself in high school and what you like. So my taste kind of branched out, and with that, I started writing my own music, and I formed a little band in high school. And that's where I kind of started diving into the world of, you know.
Tell them the name, because the name's electric.
Well, it doesn't really make sense, but
that's the best part though.
It was Constantinople and the Wheels.
Constantinople
Constantinople and the Wheels. I don't know how I got it, but
I like that. Well, so that started in high school. You're writing songs and like,
so
about getting guitar, learning guitar, and then
I was just I put together a little band and started writing original music. It's funny because like we never played an official show because I never thought we were ready to.
Oh, I was gonna ask. So you never played out; it just kind of stayed.
Yeah, we played for like friends, like small little parties, but it was more just for fun, and it was honestly super beneficial because that's when I kind of dived into the world of like, you know, not necessarily like production, but like how to use different effects, and just like gained a lot of like more musical knowledge that I then transferred into eventually what became our electronic music production. So
wow. Well, do you remember showing somebody or like your band like the first song you wrote ever? Like, was that kind of scary? Like, you know, no. I wrote this song now. Like, you guys ready to hear it? Like, I can imagine.
That's kind of a hard question because the kids that were in my band, we all kind of had a part in the creative process. So it wasn't like I necessarily did everything from scratch, but most of it, you know, was me, and you know, it worked out. So
cool.
It was a fun time, but it was definitely a big part of my electronic production learning process because it was good trial and error playing in a band.
Yeah. So from just playing with those people, you're able to practice producing. Like you weren't playing guitar?
Yeah, just like writing songs in general, and just, you know.
Sure.
I never even played in a band. I just feel like you learn just from like jamming, and like even just like one thing from like us, for like we learned so much literally just by like being in the back seat and watching other people do their thing, whether it's like someone ripping piano, but like mostly just on softwares and stuff. So I feel like
that's a good point.
Kind of like,
sure, okay.
And that's one thing I can probably attest it for both of us, is we're very like a lot of people are like visual learners, like, which is like, yeah, we are too, but I feel like we're like we listen, you know, like we're always taking new things in, so it's like a combination of both. But
rad. Okay.
We're always looking to learn, because like, I don't know, I feel like nobody knows everything, obviously, and like especially in production, and that's like the cool thing with like Ableton and like whatever DAW you work with, like there's so many little things and little tips. We had a session with some of our boys yesterday and learned fucking so much shit, like shit that I was like, whoa, what the fuck? I was like, you can do this?
It's always better to work with other people.
Yeah. We love, I guess, kind of going off topic, but like we love whatever, but it's we love collaboration.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's cool. So from I want to go back to the band. Like you just said, you guys didn't really play a show, but it was definitely a learning experience for you. You were learning songwriting and then production value and all that. When you went to college and met SWAE, how did that relationship form? Or should we talk about how did SWAE get to where he was, and then how you guys met? Or
well, we can weave that in because he was actually DJing before me.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah.
So that's how it, you know, kind of started. Is we got to college, and he's always, I mean, in high school he's super into electronic music. It was something that I kind of grew into during college. So when I got to college, I was interested in DJing, and so, you know, linked up with this guy because we're both at the same college. Doing
the same school? Was that kind of planned, or just
actually like another like little story of the story? So, and it's kind of relevant because my brother, I said I'm a twin. We look nothing alike anymore. It's kind of funny. He's on the phone right now. We can bring him up for the end. You can see, but
I want to see him.
Oh, yeah, for sure. But so he actually, because they were in the business school together, my twin brother and Niiko. And so like obviously we all grew up together. We're all friends. Blah blah blah. But like Kevin was the one who kind of was like, yo, like you like this, you like this. You guys kind of like the same thing, but like also like different things too. Like when you guys like try and like link up and like literally just like not even like not even just like try and make anything, just like DJ. And like that's what it was at first. Like we would link up and just start messing around, spinning, like making mashes and shit. And then
Okay.
like, from there on, we like kind of really found like what we liked and started to produce. And I feel like that's Nick like was obviously way more into production and knew like he helped like teach me a ton of shit. Like I was always, I feel like still am always just a little bit behind on production because he just that's his territory. But yeah, but like dude, it was sick because like we bounced, like I feel like I maybe helped teach him a lot of stuff on like DJing, and he taught me a shit ton about production and stuff. So I just feel like we
always complimenting each other.
like
Right, yeah.
we kind of say we like ham and egged it, you know what I mean? Like
Sure.
but yeah, so yeah, and but yeah, anyway, we give a lot of credit to Kev, and he's still our manager to this day. And we've kind of always like the three of us were just one big family, you know. And like
That's
we've
really
obviously
cool.
we have a big team now, but we've always kept it in the family with the three of us. And Kev has always been a central role ever since he introduced us from day one, or not introduced us, but linked it rather. So
Yeah, sure.
yeah.
Oh wow. Well, how did you get into music originally? So we didn't get your.
I was so I mean I like growing up I always did like piano lessons and like played guitar for like a year or two, but like never really stuck with it. And like I always was kind of more into sports and never really stuck too much with piano, but like still like understand like the basics and like theory and remember all that shit from it. But yeah, like I had a massive passion, still do, for electronic music, especially around like probably 2010 11 when like the big room scene was really big, like with the Showtex and Gettas and you know all those legends. And like that's what like really got me into it, just like literally like that Melbourne bounce and big room style like got me like hooked into like this genre and style of music. And so from there on I just kind of started really listening to all types of music. When I was maybe 15 I started like I think I got my first mixer and started DJing, and it's like maybe putting like transitioning between one song. I was so bad, like just learning like literally, oh, what does this knob do? Oh, what does that do? Like,
yeah,
oh,
like just you started off by learning how to mix, like
yeah.
mix
I mean, no, like literally I started off like literally learning like what does this knob do? Like what happens like if you push this? And then like from there on you're like, okay, shit, like let's try and like make like little mashes with 2 tracks. Like it wasn't even really mixing like set wise. It was like, oh yo, like this song would sound really sick if I like brought this song in here and looped this and like all this shit. So I was making almost like little mashes. And then from then on, I was like, oh shit, like sets like that, like obviously that's like where it's at. And like that's where like when it comes down to performing. And so then that's when I got more into like really messing with like transitions and like forming sets and all that stuff. But yeah, honestly, it just stemmed from like a huge passion and love for like that. Really, I guess you could call it that big room sound.
Yeah. When you started DJing, when you like learned and had like sets together, were you DJing like at parties in high school or?
I did. I remember the first party I did at high school. I think it was like my junior year, and I was so nervous. I was so bad. Like literally, like I barely knew how to beat match. Like literally, like oh, it was like looking back on it, it was pretty funny now. But like it was yeah. I mean, I feel like I've always kind of been a go-getter. Like I'm not really afraid of anything really. So I literally did like the first party I played, I barely knew how like kind of exaggerating, but I barely knew how to turn the mixer on. Like, you know what I mean? Like I literally did not know how to DJ, and it was so bad looking back on it, but it was so fun. And I was like, yo, like these people don't really care. They don't notice really when you fuck up.
Right. Trial by fire, just kind of.
Yeah, they just care. Like everyone's drunk anyway or whatever. Just here to have fun. Like they just want to dance during the drop. So I'm like, okay, like, and from then on, I really got hooked into like seeing like I'm outgoing, but I'm not like the type of guy to be like dancing on the dance floor and shit, you know. So it was always cool for me to like be making other people dance, you know what I mean? Because I wasn't gonna be the one to go out and like start and get other people to dance, like from actually dancing. So
sure.
Yeah, I guess that's how I think of it. But
and when you guys were going to the same college together, were you DJing there as well? Did you keep doing that like through high school and college, or not really?
He was before. I wasn't really doing anything on my own. Like at the time I just wasn't like, it wasn't really, I don't really know why. I just wasn't I don't know. We were like freshmen and sophomores. When you're freshmen, like you're like just trying to meet a ton of people, and like I was just caught up in like being at college, you know. So like I was kind of doing like more, I guess, like bedroom producing at first instead of like actually physically performing. But he was playing like his fraternity parties and stuff, and like I would do like here and there I would do like our parties. But once we really linked up is when we like both started kind of going crazy.
Yeah, so we I think so what happened was I was doing fraternity parties, and then, you know, Kevin, his brother, our manager, sent Mark over to my room one day, and we started jamming, and that's when we kind of, I think that was what, sophomore year?
Yeah.
that, and then
Yeah.
ever since that first time we got together and we're DJing, and keep in mind we weren't producing at the time. We played every single show after that together, whether it was my fraternity, or it was his fraternity.
Mhm.
You know, we would just kind of bounce around in between the fraternities, and then from there, you know, we were starting to play like a little more some of the clubs in Dallas because we had gotten our name out there.
Okay.
And then from, you know, the clubs in Dallas during the summer, we'd come back and we'd leverage 1 or 2 shows in LA or in Orange County, our hometown.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'd bootstrap that and we'd get an even bigger show, maybe opening up for a big artist. And it just kind of evolved.
Doing the grind and the whole networking thing. And like we cannot stress enough. We talk about it in every interview. Like there's people out there who listen to all of our interviews. You probably get annoyed because you literally hear this in every part. But networking is the most important part of your job. Like literally, like honestly, I'm not even kidding you. Right now in 2020, the most important parts of your job are social media, networking, and then production and music and all that. Like it's the sad truth. Everyone right now is just so, whether it's ADD or, well, I mean, we can go off on tangents about like that's like why songs are shorter now and shit, all that, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But
You only want singles and not full length records.
But like people, like you can have the absolute worst brand and the best music, and I guarantee you the person with the best brand and the worst music is gonna do better. And that's just the sad truth right now. Like it sucks, but that's the truth. That's really how it is.
Yeah.
Like that's why we like content and social media and all that stuff is so important to us too. But yeah, anyway, going back to like the networking thing, like you can get, and I'm not saying like by using people by any means. I'm saying like obviously you'd be homies with these people. Like you really like, you let them know like, yeah, if there's something I can help you with too, like please like let me know. Like when we started out, we would do random like private parties all the time just as favors, you know, from someone who hooked us up. Like, yo, I'll put you on here, like if you just get me back in the future. And like that's so important, is like never forgetting someone who helped you out. Or even just like honestly, like if it's not even that, if sometimes the person you're meeting knows someone else, so it's like you might not even, it's a whole network. It's it's one after the other, but you know how it is. Like
you never know who you're talking to. You never know who you might run into.
And it's so important to just be nice to everybody and like literally just be genuine and be cool with
build
everybody.
Friendships.
And just don't burn bridges and all that, you know.
Wow. Well, I want to real quick, Niiko. So you were DJing. When did you start DJing? Because you said you went to college, but you're doing the band thing. When did you start DJing and start doing that? And then like, how did you, because I know you guys ended up linking up and kind of sharing parties and doing that. But prior to that, when did your DJ career start?
Yeah, I was honestly, I'd say right before I got to college, I bought a mixer. Because I think it was that summer going into college, I went to like my first rave, and I'm pretty sure he was at the same one with like Dimitri Vegas or something.
Yeah.
So I mean, I was into it. The funny thing is, my younger brother was actually into it. He's 2 years younger, and he was into it like way before I was even into it. And like he's kind of he had a mixer like, I don't know, a year or two before I even knew what one was. So he was kind of into it at first. And, you know, just from being around the house, I'd listen to what he did. And like, I was like, oh, that'd be really fun to do in college. So I bought one. And then I'd say like the first year at school, I kind of taught myself how to do it. So.
Oh, cool.
Do
you remember your first party?
To be honest, it was I think I was doing like my first one was like a pregame or something.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I was just curious because SWAE was talking about the high school party that he did.
Yeah, I didn't play in high school, but I would do like pre-games for my fraternity. And then in similar story to Mark, it was probably really ignorant how I played because I did not know what I was doing.
That was the best part though.
Yeah, but honestly, some of the funner sets I remember because you would just play what you'd want to play, and like you didn't realize that you kind of had to pay attention to what other people want to hear or whatnot. So it was just kind of an interesting time, but also a very fun and crucial learning era of what now is our career. So
yeah. Well, okay, so let's go back to this laptop picture. So the photo of you guys with the laptop, is that the first, like, is that when you guys
are you talking
started?
like the how it started, how this one, right? The How It
Yes.
Started.
Yeah.
This was
So is
actually,
that is that
Yeah,
the
that was
first
actually-
kind of sway
no, that was legit our first
collaboration?
gig. That's legit our first gig.
The first one
yeah.
with the two of you guys together.
Ever, yeah. And like we're when we made that Instagram post, like we literally were looking through like all these like old photos and shit, and like I was like,
the
yo,
earliest one you could find.
yeah, I was like, yo, no way. I was like, I'm pretty sure this was our first gig, and we like looked and we're like remembering, like, yeah, no, like this actually was, but it's pretty funny. And then this, wait, the camera's like whatever. And then this one, the one that we swiped to, this was one of like our favorite shows. Honestly, I think I could speak for both of us.
Yeah.
This is OMNIA San Diego.
Oh, that's
like,
where we're at. I was gonna ask you
Are you
about
guys?
Omnia San
Oh
Diego.
hell yeah! That's
where-
like one of our favorite places to play.
Oh, cool. Yeah, we've interviewed Crank Dad and
Oh, nice.
Jason Crusoe there. Or
Nice.
Jason Crusoe down there.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
was Slushy? No, he wasn't there. He was
We
somewhere
played
else.
with
Never
Crank
mind.
Dad in Vegas. He's sick. He's super.
Oh,
nice.
okay. Yeah. We did a couple interviews down there at Omnia.
Yeah, OMNIA's epic. That's like one of our favorite places to play, just because the San Diego crowds are honestly the best, and
Oh, well,
everything's
thank you.
young and fun, and high energy.
Right.
But,
So, so that's where that picture was from.
The picture, it was a
Yeah.
pool party. I think
a-
at this place called Sisu.
Yeah, and it was a fraternity party.
It was a fraternity party, which is nice when you're starting out because people are guaranteed to show up.
And like it's not really nerve wracking because it's like you have all your friends there.
Exactly.
And like half the time your friends just think it's sick that you're DJing or whatever, and they're are just super supportive. And we weren't really like we never really got nervous playing at, like, not that we ever get nervous really now, like maybe sometimes, but like for us it was just always fun, and it was just mindless, and we always just had a good time.
Mm-hmm. And from that first show, like, what was tell me how does the ball start getting rolling for you guys? Because I know you put out, like, your first song you ever put out kind of went really massive.
Yeah, that was
The
so.
That was
charts and
probably a
stuff.
year after even. moved
Yeah,
up,
we
right?
just started. Yeah, at first we were for probably a good at least 6 months to like maybe a year at most or something. Like we were just DJing and just doing it for fun. Like had no like really like yeah, like people are like, oh, you should try and do like this seriously, and we're like, okay, like whatever. Like we're sophomores or juniors in college, whatever. Like yeah, whatever.
Mhm.
And then we started making like some like more like fun like clubbier tunes and just like whatever. They were just nothing ever really crazy, but they were fun. And then we finally put out like our first like real single, and like it did well. We linked up with her name was Celine Farach, and she had like a pretty big following in like Japan and stuff. So the song actually ended up doing really well in Japan. It went pretty viral there, and
Mhm.
for like our first song, like it was pretty sick. And so from that point on, I think that was when we were like, okay, shit, I think like let's
Take the
give this a
production
go.
seriously.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is a real thing. How did you get her to sing on the song?
We had it actually. It was linked up through Randy Jackson, which is kind of funny. He was one of-
American Idol
Yeah.
Randy Jackson?
Yeah,
How did that happen?
we worked with him for a little bit in the beginning. Like he was just he was almost like a mentor. Like he just
Really?
yeah, it was pretty cool.
So how it came about was we were doing all the shows in in college, and we kind of leveraged that, and we were able to get a few shows back in LA.
Mhm.
And one of them was a private party. It was for this brand called Wild Fox.
Okay.
They do like sweats and stuff, the like little t-shirts with cute little sayings, whatever.
It was we opened
A
for
lot of girls know them.
It was us and Brody Jenner, and we've actually like
Oh wow, that's
like
rad.
literally we only played with him that one time. We run into him at like parties and stuff, but
we were at the show. We were like playing house music. It was like some deeper stuff, like kind of like night bass, if you know what night bass is.
Yeah.
A night bass vibe stuff. And Randy Jackson comes over and taps on us, and he's like, "Yo, dogs, I really like this."
it was like yeah.
Literally,
We were playing like that and like some like funkier shit. Like it was a fun party. And so, but anyway, we started to
Of
like,
course he says yo dog.
he literally talks just like you hear him.
but he
He
fully,
lost a bunch of weight too.
oh yeah. Well, I mean, we
I
haven't
didn't
really,
know that.
we haven't
Oh,
seen
he used to be
it,
big
honestly.
in the earlier American Idol seasons.
Oh yeah. But no, he was awesome. He helped us out. He kind of really like, I guess you could say, built like the foundation for us almost. Like we introduced us to a ton of people that really helped us kind of get it going at first, and
Yeah, so he introduced us to Celine.
yeah. And so from there, like, yeah, so he introduced us to Celine, but he kind of really helped us like build a little bit of the foundation, and kind of a lot of the people that we were working with at first, we aren't really working with anymore, but we met like if we hadn't met them, we probably wouldn't have met the people that we're working with now. It's not like a bad thing or anything. That's just that's the music industry. There's turnover and you just move up. Yeah. But no, like nothing but love for Randy. If I doubt he'll see this or maybe, you never know, but Randy, love you, brother.
That's so cool. That's so cool. Okay, well, so he kind of helped you, got that song, and then how did that open the door for you guys?
From there it just
streaming numbers, was it bigger shows?
Yeah, I mean, you know how it is, like you get a song that like kind of starts to pop, it like really, like, I guess it's cliche, it kind of puts you on the map in a sense of like people are like, oh, I know that song's by these guys. Oh, who are those guys?
People are interested now.
They start taking you more seriously.
And you get more credibility, clout, whatever you want to call it. Like from there on, like we just started to get booked like in more and more spots. Like we were doing like tons of different college shows from there on. Like we were going to like Arizona, Michigan. We were gone pretty much like if there's 4 weekends a month, we were gone 3 of them. Wow. Like doing shows or back in LA, like in
college.
So like
in college also.
In college, yeah. So it was tough balancing it for like we made it happen. For the most part, like 99% of our teachers were really cool about it and like very understanding and like cool, really. But yeah, I mean, for junior year, we were barely in Dallas, and they're in their senior year. I mean, and it was whatever.
It was really cool.
It was sick. Yeah, it was honestly. It was.
Yeah,
cool.
I think that'd be pretty dope. You're like, later, everybody, I'm just gonna go.
Yeah, it was cool. But like, there's definitely like, I mean, like now I'm like, like we are like, oh, like I would kill for another year of college, obviously, you know. But like, whatever. I don't know. But yeah, it was fun, and the cool thing was like being in Dallas. It's kind of in the middle of the country, so like a lot of our friends would like come to like we'd be like, oh, we're going to Michigan this weekend, and then LA and Arizona. You want to come with for the little tour? And they're like, fuck yeah, let's go.
So we'd have like a little kind of central there.
Yeah, like we'd have like one weekend we literally did. We did University of Michigan on a Friday. Then on Saturday we did LA, and then Sunday University of Arizona. And literally, like, it was like the craziest weekend ever, super fun. But like, we had like a little crew that like came to like different shows along the way, and it was pretty funny.
That's cool.
Yeah.
What do you guys prefer? I mean, this is probably a hard question to answer. Actually, I'm thinking about it. Like, do you prefer doing like the private club shows or like a university, like a college or some Coachella? Because I did see you guys play Coachella, and I asked you about that because we're Southern California.
I think we like doing all of them.
Yeah, and like
I kind of figured.
One day, obviously, we want to work up to like being like on like playing like the ultra main stages and the EDC main stages and all like that. Like those like all the crazy big festival circuits. Like that's for sure our goal. And like but we also want to get more into like doing like venue shows where we're like actually like hard ticket shows. And but honestly, dude, like we play a lot in the clubs too. Like we have a residency in Vegas with HAKKASAN and OMNIA.
Yeah, so that's so cool.
Yeah, so we're there like once a month when COVID
isn't happening.
Exactly. But
you must play here in San Diego quite a bit then.
Yeah, so we get a couple shows a year at OMNIA San Diego too.
Yeah.
And unfortunately so it was supposed to be in May, canceled and postponed. I think it was at the time they moved it to like July, which obviously like didn't happen. And I forgot exactly what it was, but right now obviously I don't think they're opening anytime soon. But I mean, we'll see what happens.
Hopefully.
Hopefully, because we'd love to be back. Honestly, like the HAKKASAN group, where we're signed with is honestly has become really like family, and they're fucking awesome, and they've really,
I've heard nothing but great things about them. And the people that we've interviewed that are through them, I mean, they have the biggest names, right?
I mean, that's what's honestly sick too, is like we get to play with some of the people that we've looked up to, and are like honestly like the reason we're doing this is because probably we were listening to their music like when we were 15 or whatever. And so that's always really sick. And then like playing with like Aoki, who like literally we like for me at least, like that was one of the guys I know Niiko too, like when he was first getting into electronic, like we fucking loved him, and he's from Newport, and then we meet him and play with him a couple of times, and he couldn't be nicer, like a super nice genuine guy. So that's always super cool. And like we're not the type of kids that are like anything to like, we never fanboy. We're like, oh yeah, obviously we're like trying to be cool with everybody, but like it's super sick when an artist that you look up to like actually gives you the time of day and is really cool back to you. And honestly, it means to us. Like, if we're like, fuck, if we ever get this big, like I want to fucking be so nice, like, you know what I mean? Like,
you're right. Yeah.
We've met people, like we're not gonna say any names, but like we've met bigger artists we've gone to play with before that, they're just whatever.
It's the opposite.
Yeah, and it's just not as it's not as fun as it, but you know, whatever.
Right.
It definitely makes us think, but whatever.
Right, but I mean, what a validating feeling to have when an artist that you look up to tells you that they like your music. I mean, wow, that's probably the top validating thing could happen to you in your career, I would assume.
Yeah, no, that's for sure. That's probably one of the most rewarding things.
All right, that's rad. Well, so you guys got a chance to play Coachella. But I want to get so being from Southern California, how many times did you attend the festival, and then how much more insane was it to actually get to play and have the artist access wristband?
Oh, I mean, you can't beat that.
Yeah.
I think we've been to Coachella every single year since like sophomore or junior year of high school. So
oh wow, so it was like a thing for you guys every year.
Yeah, for sure.
We go and like it's from our area, it's like a thing. Like people like whatever you got to do to go to Coachella.
Oh yeah, it's always
like you're
everybody's like on payroll to them for like on that like you pay monthly ticket thing.
No, like but literally though, because it's like I mean there's other like there's Hard Summer and like there's like the festivals like the Insomniac ones in San Bernardino and stuff like that that are closer, but like a true like experience, like a 3-day thing, you know, it's almost like the festival itself is so fun, but like being there and then just like the atmosphere of like, oh shit, like I'm at Coachella and you're at like the house parties and all that stuff, and it's so fun. But yeah, like Nick said, we had gone for like pretty much 4 or 5 years in a row. I think the 5th year was the year we played, and so like for that, like to go as a fan for 4 years and then to like actually be on the stage. And like we weren't on a very good time slot by any means, but like still, it didn't even matter to us. Like we didn't care if there was
your name's on the poster, right?
Literally,
all that matters.
Right? Like yeah, and just to, I mean, obviously be able to say we did it, but to look back at photos and like the whole experience, the show itself was really fun. But like going around and doing like media run and like going from tent to tent doing interviews and then like hanging backstage and like meeting all like more artists that we've looked up to and like hanging with them and shit. Like it was the whole night. It was sick.
Yeah, I've heard it's insane. Like you know, there's just so many celebrities around, like getting golf carted around and whatnot. You'll just like turn around.
Yeah,
and be like, whoa.
We're getting golf carted in is pretty dope too.
Yeah.
That was pretty like, oh.
That's awesome. So tell me, what were you guys up to? I mean, obviously you have the residency in Vegas and San Diego. What happened during COVID? Like, what were you guys up to? Were you working on music? Were you touring? And then how did that totally throw a wrench in everything for you?
Like in early March, like right before lockdown?
Yeah. Were you guys like touring or writing?
Oh, yeah, we had our HAKKASAN, some HAKKASAN dates set up, and obviously like the residency.
We had shows in we had a show in Texas. We had to reschedule or cancel. We had some shows lined up and stuff that we definitely had to like move around or honestly just cancel.
But you weren't like in the midst of a tour.
No,
like,
we didn't have we didn't have any
anything.
crazy tour. It was more just like one-off shows and stuff that we announced like San Diego, Texas, like a bunch of Vegas gigs and stuff. So it wasn't for us. It wasn't like crazy. It wasn't like really like, I mean, it obviously sucked. Like COVID, this 9 months or however long it's been brutal.
Yeah.
But like it's been a lot worse for a lot of other artists who've had to like really cancel like huge tours and like doing refunds and shit that are just super brutal.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, honestly, we actually played the last weekend Vegas was open. We were celebrating our birthdays. We're born like 10 days before, so we celebrate our birthdays out there.
All three of you. Well, that's cool.
Yeah, well, my brother and I are twins.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Your brother and your twins.
And then,
are your
I'm a week after.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Like a week after. So yeah. So we were all we had a show out there and like kind of celebrate. It was us and Loud Luxury. It was a lot of fun. And then literally that next weekend, they canceled all those shows for that weekend and hasn't reopened since.
Oh my gosh.
But and I guess going back to your question too, what we were doing, it sucks that everything shut down, but it was in a way kind of good for us because at the time we weren't really planning on releasing music. We were gonna kind of take 2020 to like gear up a bunch of new songs.
Mm-hmm.
So we've really just kind of honed in during quarantine and figured that out, and we've just started releasing music again.
Yeah, I love this. The latest two songs I just heard, Friends and Can't Feel My Face, are so good.
Oh yeah.
Oh, thanks, dog.
Yeah, I really, Friends is so catchy. That's like a radio smash.
Yeah, we're super stoked on the feedback and love we've gotten from that.
Yeah, that was our first song really to hit like that, like real radio circuit. Like it was like on Sirius XM, like
Wow.
BPM, all those stations. It was on like tons of like terrestrial like FM radio stations like all across Southern California, or actually San Diego. You guys have a good FM electronic station. We don't really have one up here, but
Yeah, we did. I don't know if they still do. I don't know if it's still there.
I know it's kind of weird. Like you would it's actually really surprising that electronic music isn't bigger on FM radio in America, because it's so big on FM radio in other countries.
I know. It's so big. Like I mean, it's much more massive, I think, in like Europe and other countries too, though.
Sure.
Electronic music as it is, but
yeah.
Well, so at least you guys got to put out music during all this. Did you have those songs complete, or were they written? Or like were you able to write kind of stuck inside?
So it was actually probably almost in a sense was like better for us, because we were like, fuck, like we have nothing else to do, we might as well like pour our ideas out. And we ended up, a lot of the songs we made or have released so far were either made entirely or started, or maybe made entirely during quarantine. Some of them were started a little bit before and then finished in quarantine, but like everything we released was at least like worked on during the lockdown, I think, right?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, because I guess sound wise we kind of made a decision in October to start making more house music. Before we were doing like the future bass and the trap and stuff, and that's what that single with Celine, Run This Town, that was like more like a future bass tune. So we kind of just figured we weren't really playing any of our like future bass and trap in the clubs. We've always loved house music, and so we kind of put our fingers down and we're like, we need to make what we love and what we're going to play. So in October, we told ourselves we're not going to release anything till we have, 10, 15 songs done. We love them. We're going to play them and they're going to be released properly. So quarantine kind of saved our asses in a sense, because, we kind of got to take that time to,
made us focus.
Yeah, take that time, focus on, this new sound we're going for and what we're going to stick with. So.
It sounds great, man. So you've put out what, 2 or 3 of the songs so far?
We put 3: The Answer, Friend, and then
Can't Feel My Face. The most
Can't Feel My Face. And
we have one coming out. When's this interview gonna air?
Hold on. When? It doesn't. We could figure it out.
We'll figure it out. I was gonna say, because we have one coming next week, but
it'll be out after probably next week.
Yeah, so it's. I'll just say the date then. It's is it November 26th, I believe?
Yeah.
A week from tomorrow. It actually drops on Thanksgiving, which is kind of cool.
Okay. It's
on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, so it drops on Thanksgiving, and it's coming out on. We announced it on Monday officially, but I think this will be after. So it's coming out on.
It'll have already been announced.
Yeah, so it's on Don Diablo's HAKKASAN Records, which for us has like been one of the labels that like we've always really wanted to release on.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
How did you guys get that and have that relationship form?
So Kevin's my brother's obviously our manager, but we also we signed with like a co-manager too. So with Prodigy artists who do like Nightmare, Slander, all those dudes.
Oh wow.
Dioro, yeah. So they have like tons of connects like all over the industry and stuff, and have really helped us with pitching records. And so they sent a bunch of our records around over to some of like the European labels like Musical Freedom, like Stamped, HAKKASAN, like all those. And HAKKASAN really loved Blah Blah Blah, which is the song that drops on Thanksgiving. And it's with the singer Magleta from I believe she's from Berlin. I hope I got that right. I'm pretty sure it's Berlin though. But she's awesome, super talented, and really crushed the vocal. And it's weird. It's very like, it's not like electro pop. It's kind of more on the clubby side, but it has a little bit of a poppy feel with the vocal almost. But it's just a really fun song, and definitely will make you miss being in a club when you hear it. So we're really excited about it.
That's awesome. I did read an interview that you guys did a couple years ago. And you said that you'd love, like, you talking about collaborating with people. I think you said you'd love to like collaborate with Demi Lovato. I think was the one that you guys mentioned. I didn't know if that was still true to this day or if that's happened. It was a written interview, so who knows if and this is just going off a written interview.
Oh my. That'd be sweet. Honestly, I couldn't complain on that, but
it might have been a joke, but
Maybe it was a joke because it was all, like I said, it was like it was one of like a written out. You probably just
That is awesome.
But no, I mean, hey, it'd be sick. She's pretty huge, so.
Right, and she's huge, right? And I didn't know if that worked out for you guys.
Let's update the wish list. Let's put Ariana Grande number 1.
Ariana Grande is now number 1. Okay.
Yeah, let's update.
That's a good decision.
Asterisk next to Demi.
Right on, guys. Well, thank you so much for doing this interview. I mean, look at me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, we're praying for you.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I really do. And thank you for being able to reschedule this. And then obviously the second time around, it was like, we needed to do this. I really wanted to talk to you. And
wait, let me take a photo of us.
If it had to come to this. Oh, I love this.
Epic.
That's so cool.
What's your,
well, guys? Yeah. Again, thank you so much for doing this. I have one more question before we go. Do you have any advice for aspiring artists?
Be yourself.
Network.
Network.
Yeah.
Focus on your brand and what it's going to be, and have fun doing it. But also remember, it's a business at the end of the day.
Yeah, and also put a good amount of time and focus into your content too, and like your socials and building a presence there, because as like we said earlier, as good as your music can be, you're only really nowadays as good as your brand and your socials and all that. So make sure to definitely prioritize putting time.